Hello friends. Recently, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman launched the National Monetization Pipeline, which is an asset monetization mechanism of central public sector entities. The centre aims to generate rupees 6 lakh crore between 2021-22 and 2024-25 and create new assets. The NMP's two-volume roadmap has been formulated by the Niti Aayog in consultation with infrastructure line ministries under the asset monetization mandate of the Union Budget 2021-22. The scheme was announced in this year's budget. After this announcement by our Finance Minister, the opposition has hit out hard on the centre and has accused this move of the central government as a bid towards helping its entrepreneur friends. So today in this video, let us look into which are the assets that the government wishes to monetize. What does the government aim from this and what can be the consequences? Before we move ahead, please subscribe to the Upfront and press the bell icon to get notification of all our updates. I am Nihal Mohammed and you're watching the Upfront. What is the National Monetization Pipeline? In simple terms, monetization is the act or process of making an income from something that otherwise would not generate revenue. Under the National Monetization Pipeline, the government envisions a structured contractual partnership instead of privatization or slump sale of assets. The scheme prepares a monetization pipeline of potential brownfield infrastructure assets. From 2022 to 2025, the government is planning to offer existing assets across sectors to private organizations to generate additional revenue and at the same time to maintain and manage the assets in a professional manner. Maybe in another word, we can say that the government has omitted the assets which it could not handle, for whose good only time will say. Now there is a question as to whether these assets were in reality not generating any revenue for the government. We will look into this later. Now you might ask, what is the difference between selling assets and monetizing assets? Because our finance minister has been trying to remind us that the ownership will remain with the government. Maybe Nirmala Tai wants to look a bit modern and abstain from middle class terms like बेच दिया, and also she thinks that ये इंडिया की जनता कुछ भी बोल दो, 2 दिन तक शोर करेंगी, फिर मैं एक झूठ बोल दूंगी, मान जाएंगे. Oh no editor, what is this now? Don't act too over smart, okay? Now coming back to serious talks, what is the difference? There are mainly two differences. Number one, giving these assets to private companies on lease for 30, 60, 90 years will mean that the fact that the ownership remains with the government will have no meaning, as it will not have any big effect. Number two, greenfield means that the private companies build everything from scratch with their own money with government help and permission, but here in brownfield everything is built and given to private companies. This will mean that there is less risk for private companies. Now the main question, why this step? The second plan has come up because when the government in the first place tried to privatize some sectors, private companies were not ready to take the risk because even they lack money, as all the money in the country is getting concentrated to some crony capitalists only. This problem has forced the government to make this move where all the food is ready and served. The private companies now only have to eat and pay. Apart from this, the central government, faced with a mismanaged economy that was slowing precipitously even before the COVID-19 crisis hit, and a significant drop in government revenue caused by the still messy application of goods and services tax and an inexplicable corporate tax cut, has had to scramble around to find ways of raising money to spend on big ticket projects or simply hack away at India's massive state debt. Now, which are the assets to be monetized? The assets on the NMP list include 26,700 km of roads, railway stations, train operations and tracks, 28,608 CKT kilometer worth of power transmission lines, 6 GW of hydroelectric and solar power assets, 2.86 lakh kilometer of fiber assets, and 14,917 towers in the telecom sector, 8,154 kilometer of natural gas pipelines, and 3,930 kilometer of petroleum product pipelines. In the road sector, the government has already monetized 1,400 kilometer of national highways worth rupees 17,000 crores. Another 5 assets have been monetized through a power grid InvIT, raising rupees 7,700 crore. Also, 15 railway stations, 25 airports, and the stake of central government in existing airports, and 160 coal mining projects, 31 projects in 9 major ports, 210 lakh MT of warehousing assets, 2 national stadium and 2 regional centers will be up for monetization. Redevelopment of various government colonies and hospitality assets, including ITDC hotels, is expected to generate rupees 15,000 crores. If we look carefully, these are not underutilized or unutilized assets that are being monetized. The top 3 sectors by value identified for asset monetization include roads, railways, and power, with a respective share of 27%, 25%, and 15% in the total assets value. Roads hold the highest percentage share. Now, how can we say that 26,700 kilometers of roads, national highways, are underutilized or unutilized assets when they are already built and vehicles are already running on them? Apart from this, even the tolls are being collected. Same can be argued regarding railway stations and others. The government wishes to monetize 14,917 towers in the telecom sector. These are the towers built by the government or BSNL, but already network is provided by others like Airtel and Jio. Now the government wants to give away these towers to private companies. Now, what are the challenges and the effects this can have on the common public? The main challenges that may affect the NMP include lack of identifiable revenue streams in various assets, level of capacity utilization in gas and petroleum pipeline networks, dispute resolution mechanism, regulated tariffs in power sector assets, and low interest among investors in national highways below 4 lanes. We have seen in the last 7 years that the Modi approach to the economy has been to feed crony capitalists. The government has made clear its preference to build up a few national champions, even at the risk of monopolistic behavior. Will the government be able to regulate the private companies? Will they be able to stop them from looting people by levying high charges, tolls, bills, etc.? It is very clear that the government wants to sell off all the assets made in the last 70 years. Oh, sorry, I forgot, the Congress did nothing. There are no assets. They want to monetize no assets to make up to their need for cash, as they are totally broke and bankrupt. All that matters to common public is their pocket and family. They want to feed their family and keep them safe. That's all they want. The public may not care for the nuances of concession models versus full sale of public goods, particularly if the net effect of such moves will be to see prices going up. Yet if the government is overbearing on the question of price controls or shows itself to be vulnerable to political pressure on that front, how many private players will be interested in putting money upfront for such projects? All we can do is hope and hope that this is again not one of those master strokes which have brought our economy to ICU or probably to ventilator. Let us hope that this will not act like the final nail in the coffin. Instead, this will be the oxygen to revive our dying economy. If you like the content we provide, please subscribe to the Upfront and press the bell icon to get notification of all our recent updates. Please share our videos and educate others. Thank you.